cracking? It's Paul from I Like to Paint Minis, back to you on another Saturday morning, afternoon, nighttime video for you, but for me it's the morning here in Arizona. We're back to part 3. We're going to do some more on the Tarrasque. I can tell you, learning from big miniatures to smaller and being new to YouTube and filming, the camera angles can get different, right? I mean, right now I'm coming at you from the camera on my laptop, so that's how I get most of it in. With my iPhone, it's a little bit different. And also I learned too is doing a series of painting miniatures like this. Something new to learn for me is, it puts a task on me. Not that it's hard to do, but then I feel like there's a structure to something. And then it's more of I don't want to do it instead of I want to do it. But you know what? I want to do it still, get it finished. This model's been sitting in my collection for a while, and it definitely needs some love. Otherwise, we're going to work on some more dry brushing today. I don't know if we'll get to the actual tower part or the base part, as you can see here. That's going to be an easy one for me in a sense. Now that I said it, will be my most difficult. But all right, I'm back. So once again, we're going to try this overhead view. As the Tarrasque I mentioned is kind of a beast. Well, he is a beast, right? Last time we were back in the last video, we did some dry brushing with Woven Fury from War Paint's Fanatic line on the Triad set, and a little bit of Basilisk Red. Both a little bit is the base, a little bit darker and lighter in some areas. I thought first we'd try some of, I just grabbed it off my shelf. We're gonna hit up Pure Red from the Cool Red selection, and we're gonna hit it with that dry brushing. Remember, shake your paints. Make sure you can hear the bearings. Either shake them by hand or use your vortex mixer. I got a vortex mixer offline. Don't know if you can hear it or not. You know, it was funny the other day, actually yesterday, depending when you see this video, I was playing some D&D with some friends, and I'm like, hey, you know, D&D and miniature painting, well, both hobbies are separate. Well, they come together, but they're separate if you do one or the other. Wow, need more coffee. But they're like, hey, hobbies are inexpensive to a degree. They are, until you start buying all the different pieces. Like, hey, I got these miniatures, and I'm gonna buy these miniatures. I need this type of glue or this glue. It's what we call in the sales industry, and I think most companies that are big, like Wizards of the Coast and other ones, Warhammer, know that people need a lot of pots and pans. Pots and pans add up to bigger numbers sometimes than those big pots in the ballpark, right? So we got the red that I mentioned on there, the Pure Red. Hopefully you can see everything with the dry brush. And then once again, just gonna lightly dry brush over the models I'm doing right now. And the ridges should start to pick up some of that. And hopefully you can see that on camera. As I mentioned, this thing's a behemoth. So it's probably gonna take a few coats depending where and when I'm on camera or not. So let's do another pass. Also, if you have a good dry brushes like you bought from the Arnie Painter or Artist Opus or other ones, I would suggest not using those ones because it's going to take a lot of paint to get caked on those. If you're like me, you have a series of makeup brushes, and that's going to make it a lot better for you, right? Because those are throwaways. They should be throwaways for you. I mean, I use mine multiple times. I might do a video on brush cleaning, but I can tell you one of the tricks I learned from one of the channels or one of the artists that I watch. Cleaning some of my dry brushes takes a lot of paint soap. So what I do is, if they're pretty caked on there, I let them soak in like hand sanitizer that everyone was buying during COVID. Maybe a few hours, maybe overnight, depending on what. And then after those soak for a bit, rinse them out, and some of the paint will come out, and then hit it with your soap, and you'll see it has a better clean through rate on those. All right, we got just one small couple passes on this. So we'll take a look at this. Now I'm gonna flip it, and you'll see the comparison, right? I'm not gonna do a side by side, even if I knew how to do that. But here's the original before we started with the new red, the new Pure Red, and we'll flip it back over. So it's starting to grab some of the details, right? You can see the woven in there, see some of those in those areas. Just go ahead and set this down, get some more paint on the palette. I'm probably gonna have to use a few different dry brushes to get in slots that are smaller so I can hit those up. But we'll come to that bridge when we cross it, right? You'll see me do this once in a while. It's because maybe I hadn't taken enough, smudge it with my fingers, because I might not have taken enough off my brush. You just don't know with a miniature like this how much you're gonna need. You know, there's probably different techniques for dry brushing, like scale up to get the, go upwards to hit the ridges. Everyone has something different. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do the circular motion. That's how I want to paint it, right? I mean, yes, someone probably has something from A to Z on how to do it. But at the end of the day, this is my model, my paint, my money. And I want it to come out nice so you guys can see it on the channel. But I got to remember to keep the hobby in a framework where I'm doing this for fun. Once it becomes a business or a structure, that's where it goes away from why I started it. And I probably mentioned this on a few of my feeds. I do it for stress release. I do it to have fun in those areas. Man, this thing is massive. All right, he's looking pretty awesome. We got some sides down there. Then when we get more into more detail, I'll start to focus on things like his nails. After we have all the dry brushing done, hit him up with a white or a base white or a bleached linen from Reaper. I love bleached linen. Has that technique for me. Do a wash on it, kind of like how you do your skeletons. And if you guys ever want to see a video on how to do skeletons the way I do them, let me know in the comments. If you can like and subscribe. Somehow, all the new painters out there, or the older painters that I watch, saying that the algorithm changed. I don't even know if I'm even in the algorithm shit. But give me a like, subscribe, tell a friend, or if you want a certain video, something you want to learn, let me know. We can work on it together. Otherwise, yeah, look, I'm gonna get both sides and I'll come back once this is totally completed so you can see it all. All right, so I'm back. As I hit it with the other red that I was telling you about, the pure red from Army Painter Fanatics. I got what I like as a coat on it, so I'm gonna drop another dry brush on it, and I'm stepping out of my Army Painter zone because I still have some of these. I like Reaper paints too, so I'm gonna do a Reaper Brilliant Red on this. So let's take a little bit, see how it looks different in some areas. Well, actually my dry brushes are all kind of getting clogged up, so let's try this again. More paint out there. Ooh, that's a lot. Leave in the comments if you guys have ever tried to tackle a miniature this big. Tell me your outcomes. Maybe share some images with me. You can email it to me. My email's in the account. If you have comments or you want to look at something different, send that on over. All right, so this is Brilliant Red, like I mentioned, from Reaper Miniatures, from their line. They have some decent paints too. But like I said, I like sticking to one brand, and I do really like the Army Painter brand. So this guy's definitely coming together for me. I'm starting to see the vision that I had for it, in a sense, from like thinking it's red, it's from the fire, from the middle of the earth. Technically, I didn't read all up on the Tarrasque and the D&D modules. Sometimes I don't want to allow things to guide my judgment, right? Just depending. So here's the side with the Brilliant Red. Hopefully you can see this on camera. Better for you now, moving over a little bit more again. And this was with the pure red and the flavors on it, right? So we'll get a side over here. See, just Lightly going over it, dry brushing, hitting the areas that I want to hit, the top edges. You know, some parts of me want to drop a wash on this, but man, I don't got enough wash, especially if I did a homemade wash. So definitely part 3, I believe this is coming along nice. Next time we start, you should see this fully dry brushed out, and maybe we'll start getting in on the teeth and the base or the castle or the tower, whatever that is, and going from there. But definitely, thanks for staying along, and if you have questions or again on the paints that I use, let me know. Have a great day and a great weekend. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around watching for part 3 of painting the Tarrasque, the big bad beast. Once again, here he is. You know, we got some of the new reds on him, dropping it in. Like I said, this is still a thing, work in progress. But otherwise, thanks for sticking around for that. I know the camera angles are still kind of wonky, but definitely, if you have any questions, things you want to talk about, something you want to see on the channel, something you want to learn that I might have learned, get with me. Once again, that's not a ghost. That's my dog because she wants to come and go as she pleases. Otherwise, thanks for watching I Like to Paint Minis, and have a great weekend.